Okay, so that was well spoken, but it was too long for part one. That was again a touch too long, not quite as long as the first one. The thing is, in the exam, I don't know if you remember, if you do go for too long, there's a chance that they'll just cut you off.
But the problem is, how would I make it a bit shorter? Because I feel like that questions things like you need to talk a bit longer because there are quite a few reasons from me. So,
You can say that. So you're saying often you will. It doesn't inhibit the point of what you're saying, but in terms of correct grammar, you just got to get rid of that will.
then when do you use a will? When do you use the word will?
Yeah, okay. So it is a little bit nuanced, meaning because there's occasions where people do say will when it's already a plan, but it's kind of so will is, let's say, but I pointed out because when you're listening to other people speaking, if you use something yourself, it's easier to identify it from the person that's speaking too. Everyone can understand absolutely what you're saying. So that's why no one's ever said, oh, by the way. And also people don't like to correct. I don't correct people. I only do it in a lesson.
안녕하세요, 조이입니다. 정말 오랜만에 광고 영상 가지고 왔습니다. 요번에 호주 이민성에서 영주권 영어 점수 기준을 정말 대폭 변경시켰는데요. 특히나 스피킹 점수가 정말 많이 올랐죠. 그래서 많은 분들이 걱정하고 계실 텐데 그런 분들을 위해서 또 요번에 캠블리와 협업을 진행하기로 했습니다. 오는 9월 19일까지 캠블리에서 할인 프로모션을 진행한다고 하는데요. 할인 코드 조이 시작을 이용하시면 최대 50%까지 할인을 받으실 수 있다고 하니까 평소 실전 영어 스피킹 실력을 업그레이드 하고 싶으셨던 분들 이번 기회를 통해서 정말 저렴한 가격에 원어민 튜터들과 1대1 레슨을 진행할 수 있을 거예요. 그리고 요번에 캠블리에서 프로 기능이 새로 생겼다고 하는데요. 함께 어떤 기능인지 직접 알아보도록 할게요.
안녕하세요, 여러분들. 오늘은 또 오프라서 캠블리 프로를 직접 이용을 해보려고 지금 어제 예약을 해놨거든요. 그래서 오늘 진행을 할 예정입니다. 왜 저렇게 아침부터 일상인가라고 생각할 수 있는데 아침에 일찍 하고 약간 미라클 모닝 같은 거죠. 그래서 8시 15분에 예약을 했습니다. 이렇게 8시 15분 프로 레슨 예약을 했어요. 프로는 어떻게 다른지 한번 직접 해보도록 하겠습니다. 제가 봤을 때는 프로가 뭐 약간 좀 더 체계적이고 복습이나 아니면 목표를 설정을 해서 튜터랑 수업을 진행할 수 있는 것처럼 얘기를 했거든요. 그래서 일단 제가 직접 해보도록 하겠습니다. IELTS를 일단 해보기로 했어요. 이게 사실 PT 선생님도 계시거든요. PT 선생님도 계신데 제가 이제 예약을 하려고 이제 어제 급하게 좀 하다 보니까 밤에 예약을 했거든요. 밤 10시에 예약을 했는데 아침 8시에 예약을 받아주신 거예요. 급하게 예약도 해보니까 가능한 게 좀 좋네요. 바쁜 사회생활 하시는 여러분들 갑자기 시간이 나서 수업이 뭐 할 수 있을 것 같나 이렇게 찾아볼 때 바로 이렇게 예약이 가능합니다. 일단 근데 지금 수업까지 한 25분 정도 남아가지고 제가 뭔가 준비를 해야 되는 게 있는지 없는지 그런 거 한번 확인해 볼게요. 보니까 플랜이 3개가 있네. 이렇게 3가지가 있네요. 제가 예전에 소규모 그룹도 한번 했었던 것 같고 개인이 있고 개인 이제 일반적인 화상 영어죠. 그래서 모든 레슨 자동 피드백 제공되고 트랜스크립트 이런 거 제공되는 거. 새로 생긴 프로 플랜이 이제 프로 전용 튜터, 체계적인 레슨, 개인별 맞춤 지도를 통해 영어를 효율적으로 학습 목표를 달성하고 싶은 분께 추천드립니다. 그래서 캠블리 프로 튜터가 있고 그리고 체계적인 목표 지향적인 레슨이 가능하고 맞춤형 튜터 피드백, 자기 주도 학습 권장사항 이런 게 또 따로 있네요. 이미 제 할인 쿠폰 코드가 들어가가지고 바로 이렇게 뜨네요. 할인 쿠폰 코드 안 들어가면 12개월 30% 할인되고 3개월짜리는 2% 할인되더라고요.
지금 보시는 가격은 제가 뉴질랜드에서 접속해서 책정된 가격이더라고요. 한국에서 접속하실 경우에는 최대 50%까지 할인되어 훨씬 저렴한 가격에 구매하실 수 있습니다.
저 예전에 전화 영어 있죠. 화상 영어 말고 우리 필리핀 친구들이랑 하는 전화 영어를 주 5회로 끊었을 때 한 달에 한 40만 원 했던 것 같아요. 제 기억에. 저 때보다 훨씬 저렴하네요. 어찌됐든 전 이제 그러면 직접 프로를 한번 경험해보러 레슨을 들으러 가보도록 하겠습니다.
이제 제가 한 레슨 녹화본을 보여드릴 건데 대화 중간에 말이 막히는 구간, 말을 저는 구간을 최대한 편집하지 않았습니다. 보시면서 5년차 해외 간호사든 원어민이든 말을 끊김없이 유려하게 하는 게 아니고요. 필링어구들도 엄청 씁니다. 그렇기에 인터넷에 영어 스피킹 영상들 보면서 저렇게 말해야 한다는 부담감을 갖지 말라는 점 꼭 말씀드리고 싶습니다. 대부분이 대본이 있거나 적절하게 편집된 영상이니까요.
Hi, hello, how are you today?
I'm okay, thanks. It's 6:15 in the morning. What about you?
6:15. Gosh, it's 8:15 in here. Where do you live in Australia?
In Melbourne. Where are
Melbourne,
you?
all right. I'm in New Zealand.
Okay, so Joy, how can I help you?
I was just wondering if I can do some IELTS practice probably today.
Yeah, sure. Is it
Mhm.
for speaking?
Oh, yes, yeah.
All right, we'll do that. It's very basic. Do you work?
I do work as a nurse in New Zealand right now. I've been working as a nurse for the last 7 years. I used to work in the surgical wards, and now I'm in ADU, which means assessment and diagnostic units. So you will look after the patients who newly diagnosed with some disease from the community.
So we have to assess the patients from the basics. So we do use some kind of assessment tools like A to D assessment tool. But anyway, so that's what I do usually. And then we will decide. I mean, not us. It's the doctor. The doctors will decide if the patients will go to the wards or they will be discharged to community. So that's what we basically do in the AD units.
Okay, so that was well spoken, but it was too long for part one. I don't know if you remember yeah. So part one, okay, it's hard to say. I can't give you an exact amount of time or whatever, but it is a shorter answer, probably half of that. Right, let's go to the next one. So why did you choose this kind of work?
Well, first of all, I really didn't choose this job from the start because when I was in uni, like with my scores, the only only the specialty that I was able to choose was nursing. So, and I like people, and I would love to, look after the people who are vulnerable. So that's why I chose the occupations at the time. And then when I started working as a nurse, I really liked it because apart from looking after the patients, you will also need to decide, or you will also need to look into what the causes or what the problems with the patients. So I really like that. I really like that parts of it. So that's why I am still a nurse here.
That was again a touch too long, not quite as long as the first one, but a little bit. The thing is, in the exam, I don't know if you remember, if you do go for too long, there's a chance that they'll just cut you off.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
And I think that if you're in that situation where it's quite a nerve-wracking, it can be a nerve-wracking situation. It depends on the person. Some of them aren't so as friendly. It might be because they've been doing it all day, and by the time they get to the end of the day, they're just not as. But on your side, this is part one, and if you get cut off a couple of times, you wouldn't. It might make you feel a bit. Oh, right. You've still got the rest of this.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but the problem is. How would I get there? How would I make it a bit shorter? Because I feel like that questions things like you need to talk a bit longer because there are quite a few reasons from me. So
you can say that there's several reasons, but the main ones are.
Oh, right. That's
right.
Good. Yeah.
You could do that if you. Yeah. So you're saying often you will instead of. Okay, so for example, you said in one of the first question, you said So you will look after patients, and then you will also need to decide. So you don't say you will, you would, it's a generalized thing you're saying. So you would say, so you look after patients, you need to decide, not you will. Not, you don't need the will.
Okay,
I'll
because it's a
point it
general.
out
Yeah.
again. People obviously still know what you're saying. It's not, it doesn't inhibit the point of what you're saying. But if, in terms of correct grammar, you just got to get rid of that will. If I said it about teaching on Cambly, I would say, oh, teaching on Cambly, da, 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 da. You will start the lesson and there's a counter at the top of the screen and it counts backwards. And when it comes to the 0, you'll finish. It's so you would just say it finishes, it starts. It's the present simple, but in a habit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will try not to use will. Yeah.
Let's try. So this is about the weekends. What do you usually do at the weekends?
I do workouts nowadays. I'm quite into that because I will do the race next month, which is called Deadly Dozen. So you have to do like 400 meters times 12, and then there are some weightliftings in betweens. So I really need to do trainings before I, do the race.
That sounds intense.
It
Deadly
is,
Dozen.
it is. But it's
Oh
really
my-
fun when you do it
Yeah.
with your friends.
Yeah, I've never tried something like that. I go to the gym and do a lot, but I haven't tried to do an event sort of like that. Yeah. So you said, just again with grammar, you said, I will do the race next month. So we would say going to, because it's a plan. I'm going to
Yeah.
do. Again, this is another habit that lots and lots of people make, because will is easy to, when you're learning in the beginning,
It's easy.
so
Yeah,
much easier
easy
to
use
will
it.
for everything.
Mhm.
But
True.
the correct grammar for a plan is I'm gonna do this. I'm sure
Then when
New
do you
Zealand-
use a will? When do you use the word will?
Yeah, okay. So it is a little bit nuanced, meaning, because there's occasions where people do say will when it's already a plan, but it's kind of, so will is, let's say, I don't know what I'm doing tonight. So I would say, I don't know, like, oh, maybe I'll go to the cinema, because my mum wants to go to the cinema and I feel guilty if I don't go with her. So maybe I'll go. I will go. Like, so, because it's not a plan. I'm like, it's the moment, that moment of speaking and thinking.
It's not 100% planned.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't
You
know. It's at
will
the
or not.
moment. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll go to the cinema. I'll just stay home and she can go. And also, it's mostly I'll, with natural. And the only reason I point it out is that because it's not wrong to say I will. You can say I will until you die, like instead of I'll. That's fine. But I point it out because, when you're listening to other people speaking, if you use something yourself, it's easier to identify it from the person that's speaking too. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, if you never say I'll ever, you just say I will, then when other people speak, your ear isn't trained for it as much because you don't.
Right. You
Yeah.
don't get used to that.
No. So it's harder for you. That's why when I first start, when I have beginners, I know they want to say, I am going. I try to get them to say, I'm, you're, he's, she's, there, they are. Because that's how a native or naturally people speak English. The way that you speak doesn't affect the message you're trying to get across. Everyone can understand absolutely what you're saying. So that's why no one's ever said, oh, by the way. And also people don't like to correct. I don't correct people. I only do it in a lesson. But yeah, so there's a couple of habitual mistakes grammatically, that if you kind of clean those up, yeah, it'll make a difference to your score. And yeah, just future.
Thank you so much.
See ya. 오랜만에 하니까 좋은데? 코렉션도 많이 받았어요. 확실히 영어는 계속 공부를 해야 돼. 이게 어찌됐든 내가 제2외국어로 사는 거니까 또 일을 하면 정말 저한테 코렉션을 해주는 사람이 없어요. 이렇게 한번 IELTS 스피킹 다시 도전해봐.